Every morning, I wake to the soft hum of the ocean. At 74, you'd think I'd sleep in, but old habits die hard. My eyes flutter open just as the first light spills through the lace curtains, painting my bedroom in shades of gold and blue. I ease out of bed, my lower back grumbling reminder of the years I've carried. The hardwood floor is cool under my feet as I slip into my worn slippers and shuffle to the window. Outside, the Atlantic stretches endless, its waves whispering secrets to the rocky shore of Bar Harbor, Maine. This view, it's my anchor, has been for 30 years, ever since Samuel, my late husband, built this cottage with his own dreams and calloused hands. I make my way to the kitchen, the scent of coffee already filling the air as the machine gurgles to life while it brews. I pull a book from the shelf, some weathered Jane Austen novel I've read a dozen times, settle by the window. My laptop, a gift from my granddaughter Emma, sits nearby, glowing with unread emails. I smile, thinking of her last video call from Boston, her college stories bubbling over like sea foam. I'm no stranger to technology. 35 years as a librarian taught me to keep up with the times, from card catalogs to digital databases. But truth be told, I prefer the weight of a book in my hands, the rustle of pages over the ping of notifications. This cottage is more than a home, it's a time capsule. Samuel, a marine biologist, chose this spot for its closeness to the sea he loved. We moved here when Abigail, our daughter, was just a toddler, her laughter echoing through these walls. Those were good years, mostly. Samuel's work took him away for weeks at a time, studying whales or tides or whatever called him to the water. I was left to raise Abigail, balancing my job at the library with bedtime stories and scraped knees. Money was tight, and Samuel's absences wore on us. Abigail grew up feeling I chose work or her father over her. I tried to explain, but some wounds don't heal easy. They fester, quiet and deep. Samuel's been gone 8 years now, taken by cancer that came too fast. The cottage is all I have left of him, of us. It's not grand, just 2 bedrooms, a cozy living room with a stone fireplace, and a garden that fights me every spring, but it's mine. Paid off with my librarian's pension and a small inheritance from Samuel's parents. I tend the roses, join the local book club, do yoga to ease my aching back. Life's simple, but it's enough. Or it was. Until that Sunday morning. I'm halfway through my coffee, lost in Pride and Prejudice, when the doorbell chimes. I glance at the clock. 8:30, too early for the neighbors, too late for the mail. My heart skips, a habit from years of expecting bad news. I set the book down, smooth my cardigan, and head to the door. Through the glass, I see a familiar silhouette. Abigail, my daughter. Her visits are rare, always planned weeks ahead. Something's off. I open the door, and there she is, 42 years old, her dark hair pulled tight in a bun, her face sharp and unreadable. Beside her stands Caleb, her husband, all polished charm in a tailored coat. "Mom," Abigail says, her voice clipped, like she's checking off a task. "Can we come in?" "Of course," I say, forcing a smile. My stomach twists, a warning I can't name. "What brings you here so early?" Caleb flashes a grin, too bright for the gray morning. "Just wanted to check on you, Ruth. It's been a while." I nod, ushering them into the living room. The air feels heavy, like a storm's brewing over the bay. I offer coffee, but they decline, settling on the sofa like they're here on business. Abigail's eyes dart around, lingering on the fireplace, the bookshelves, the view of the sea. Caleb's gaze is sharper, like he's appraising the place. I sit in my armchair, hands folded, waiting. Whatever they're here for, it's not a casual visit, and deep down, I know, this is the start of something I won't soon forget. The living room feels smaller with Abigail and Caleb sitting there, their presence like a cold front rolling in off the Atlantic. I perch in my armchair, hands clasped tight to steady the unease creeping up my spine. Abigail's eyes flicker over the cottage, my bookshelves, the faded rug, the sea beyond the window, like she's cataloging it. Caleb leans back on the sofa, his smile too polished, like he's selling something. I've known him 5 years, ever since Abigail married him, but that charm of his never sits right, too much like a real estate agent closing a deal, which, I suppose, he is. "So, Mom," Abigail starts, her voice sharp enough to cut glass. "We've been thinking about you, living here, all alone." I raise an eyebrow, keeping my tone light. "I'm not alone, Abby. I've got Emma's calls, the book club, the neighbors, And this place, it keeps me busy. I gesture toward the garden, where my roses are fighting the salty air. Caleb jumps in, smooth as ever. That's just it, Ruth. This house is a lot to handle. The upkeep, the repairs, the stairs. It's a big place for one person. He leans forward, hands clasped, like he's my best friend. We're worried about you. Worried. The word lands heavy, but it doesn't ring true. I've managed this cottage for 8 years since Samuel passed. Paid the taxes, fixed the leaky roof, learned to unclog the sink myself. I'm 74, not helpless. But I don't say that. Not yet. Instead, I tilt my head, waiting. What's on your mind? Then Abigail shifts, her lips tight. She's always had Samuel's temper, quick to flare. We found a place. Ocean Breeze. It's a retirement community, just outside town. Modern apartments, medical staff on call, activities every day. You'd love it. Her words rush out, rehearsed, like she's reading from a brochure. I blink, letting the idea settle. A retirement home. Me, in some sterile apartment, surrounded by strangers playing bingo. Away from my garden, my books, my seat. I force a smile, though my chest tightens. That's kind of you to think of me. But I'm happy here. This is home. Caleb exchanges a glance with Abigail, quick and pointed. He clears his throat. Ruth, it's not just about happiness. It's about safety. You're not getting any younger. What if you fall? Or forget something on the stove? He pauses, his voice softening, but it feels like a trap. And, frankly, this house, it's eating up your savings. Selling it could give you a comfortable life, and leave something for Abby, down the line. There it is. The real reason. Dressed up. As concerned, I look at Abigail, searching for the girl who used to curl up with me, reading Charlotte's Web by the fireplace. But her face is hard, her eyes avoiding mine. Is that what you want, Abby, to sell the house? She snaps her head up, her voice sharp. It's not about what I want, Mom. It's about what's best. You're out here, all by yourself, in this big old place. It's not practical. And honestly, double quotes. She hesitates, then plunges in. You've been forgetting things. Mix updates, repeating stories. We've noticed. The accusation stings, like salt in a wound. Forgetting things. I run my book club schedule, manage my bills online, remember Emma's college exam dates. My mind's as sharp as ever, despite the creaky back. I lean forward, keeping my voice steady. I'm not confused, Abby, and I'm not moving. This house was your father's dream. It's mine now. Abigail's face flushes, her old resentment bubbling up. Dad's dream. Your job. Always something more important than me. Her words cut deep, echoing fights we had when she was a teenager, slamming doors because I worked late at the library to pay for her dance lessons. I want to reach out, to explain again how hard it was, raising her while Samuel chased whales across the ocean. But she's not listening. She never has. Caleb steps in, his tone soothing but firm. Let's not get heated. Ruth, we're just saying. Think about the future. Ocean Breeze is top-notch, and selling this place well, it's worth a pretty penny. You could live worry-free. We'd handle everything. Handle everything. The phrase chills me. I see it in all their plan, laid bare. They want the cottage, its view of the bay, its $500,000 price tag. My home, reduced to a paycheck. I stand, my knees wobbling but my voice firm. I appreciate your concern, but my answer's no. I'm staying. Abigail stands too, her purse clutched tight. You're being stubborn, Mom. We're trying to help. Her eyes flash, and for a moment, I see hurt beneath the anger, but it's gone fast, replaced by that cold wall she's built between us. Caleb puts a hand on her arm, guiding her toward the door. We'll give you time to think, Ruth, but we'll be back. This is important. His smile doesn't reach his eyes. I watched their car disappear down the gravel drive, the seas roar, filling the silence they leave behind. My hands tremble as I sink back into my armchair. Abigail's words, forgetting things, not practical, loop in my mind, stirring doubts I don't want to face. Am I too old for this place? Too frail? No. I shake my head, pushing the thoughts away. This is my home, my life, and I'll fight for it. Alone now, the cottage feels too quiet, its walls heavy with memories. I pick up my phone, my fingers hovering over a number I don't call often enough. Benjamin, my friend, my secret. For 25 years, a retired lawyer I met at a book conference. his warm laugh and sharp mind pulling me in when Samuel was lost to his work and I was drowning in motherhood. We've kept our bond, hidden stolen coffees, late-night calls. A weekend in Vermont I told Samuel was a library retreat. Abigail doesn't know. No one does. But right now, I need him. Ben, I say when he answers, my voice cracking. Abby was here, with her husband. They want me to sell the house, move to some retirement place. I pause, the words catching in my throat. I'm scared. His voice is steady, like an anchor in a storm. I'm here, Ruth. Tell me everything. As I spill the story, the weight on my chest eases, just a little. Benjamin listens, asks questions, his lawyer's mind already turning. Don't worry, he says finally. We'll figure this out. I've got some ideas. I hang up, staring out at the sea, its waves rolling in, steady and sure. A storm's coming. I can feel it, but for the first time today, I don't feel alone. The next few days creep by, each one heavier than the last. I try to keep busy watering the roses, reading my Austen, calling Emma to hear her laugh about some college prank. But Abigail's words cling to me like damp sea air. Forgetting things, Lou Lane, they gnaw at my confidence, making me second-guess myself. Did I miss a book club meeting? Misplace my keys? No, my mind's still sharp, I tell myself, but doubt lingers. A shadow I can't shake. Benjamin calls every evening, his voice a lifeline. He's digging into Abigail and Caleb's plan, using old contacts from his lawyer days. Caleb's in deep with some bad deals, he tells me one night. His real estate firm's bleeding money. That cottage of yours, it's a quick fix. For him, I nod, though he can't see me, my heart sinking. My home, my sanctuary, reduced to a $sign. Benjamin promises to keep digging, but I feel the clock ticking, like the tide pulling out before a storm. Thursday morning, I'm in the middle of my yoga routines, low stretches to ease my aching back when the doorbell rings. My pulse jumps. I peer through the window, and there's Abigail's car, parked crooked like she rushed here. Caleb's beside her, holding a briefcase, and a stranger stands with them, a woman, in a crisp blazer, clutching a clipboard. I smooth my sweater, take a deep breath, and open the door. Mom, Abigail says, her voice tight, like she's bracing for a fight. This is Dr. Laura Bennett. She's a psychologist. We asked her to stop by. The woman. She's in her 50s, with thin lips and a smile that doesn't reach her eyes. Mrs. Harper, she says, extending a hand I don't take. I specialize in cognitive health. Your daughter's concerned about you. Concerned, I repeat, my voice flat. I step back, letting them in, though every instinct screams to slam the door. We settle in the living room, Abigail and Caleb on the sofa, Dr. Bennett in a chair, her clipboard poised like a weapon. I stay standing, arms crossed. What's this about, Abby? Abigail fidgets, avoiding my gaze. Caleb jumps in, his tone smooth as oil. Ruth, we've noticed signs, memory lapses, confusion. We thought a professional should check on you, for your safety, my safety. The lie burns, but I keep my face calm. I'm fine. I run my own life, pay my bills, read my books. I don't need a checkup. Dr. Bennett clears her throat, her pen scratching the clipboard. Mrs. Harper, it's common for loved ones to notice issues before the individual does. Your daughter mentioned repeated stories, missed appointments. These could be early signs of dementia. Dementia. The word lands like a slap. My knees wobble, but I grip the back of my armchair, steadying myself. That's nonsense. I've never missed an appointment, and I don't repeat myself. I turn to Abigail, my voice sharp. Tell me one time I did. She flinches, her eyes darting to Caleb. He nods, almost imperceptibly, and she speaks, her voice slow. Last month, you called me twice about Emma's graduation, asked the same questions, and you forgot our lunch date. Lies, pure lies. I never called twice, and we hadn't planned a lunch in years. My chest tightens, anger mixing with fear. They're building a case, painting me as frail, confused. I want to scream, but I force myself to stay calm. I don't recall any of that, because it didn't happen. Dr. Bennett scribbles something, her face unreadable. Mrs. Harper, denial is common. I've reviewed your case. Based on your family's input, I've prepared a report. She pulls a document from her briefcase, sliding it across the coffee table. I pick it up, my hands trembling. The paper's official, stamped with some clinic's logo. My name's at the top, followed by a diagnosis, early stage dementia, Alzheimer's type, recommend immediate supervision. I freeze, the words blurring before my eyes. This says, you examined me. I've never met you. My voice shakes, not from fear, but fury. This is a lie. Caleb leans forward, his voice soft, almost pitying. Ruth, you don't remember the visit. That's part of the condition. Dr. Bennett saw you last month, at our request. I stare at him, my heart pounding. A visit that never happened. A doctor I've never seen. I turn to Abigail, searching her face for some trace of the daughter I raised. Abby, you know this isn't true. Why are you doing this? She looks away, her jaw tight. Caleb answers for her. We're protecting you, Ruth. That's why we went to court. He pulls another document from his briefcase, unfolding it with a flourish. This is a guardianship order. Abby's been appointed your legal guardian, effective immediately. It gives her control of your finances, your property, for your own good. The room spins. Guardianship. They've stripped me of my rights, declared me incompetent without a hearing, without my knowledge. I scan the court order, dated last week, my name typed neatly beside words like incapacitated and unfit. This can't be legal, I whisper. I'd have been notified. There'd be a hearing. There was, Caleb says, his voice maddeningly calm. You were represented by a court-appointed attorney. You don't remember, Ruth. That's why we're here. I sink into my armchair, the papers slipping from my hands. It's a trap, airtight and cruel. They've forged a medical report, manipulated the courts, all to take my cottage, my home, my life. I look at Abigail, my voice breaking. What happens to the house? Caleb doesn't hesitate. We've filed to sell it. The proceeds will cover your care at Ocean Breeze. You'll move there next week. And if I refuse? I ask, my voice barely a whisper. Dr. Bennett speaks, her tone clinical. If you resist, Mrs. Harper, I'd have to recommend involuntary admission to a psychiatric facility for your safety. The threat hangs in the air, cold and final. I look at Abigail, but her eyes are fixed on the floor. Caleb stands, pulling out a stack of papers. Here's the deed transfer. Sign it, Ruth. It'll make things easier for them. My mind races, searching for a way out. I can't fight this now, not with them here, not with that fake doctor in her clipboard. I need time. I need Benjamin. So I nod, my voice small. Let me read it first. I need ... to think. Caleb's smile is triumphant, of course, but don't take too long. We'll be back tomorrow. He hands me a pen, and I take it, my fingers numb. Abigail finally meets my eyes, and for a moment, I think I see guilt, but she says nothing, following Caleb and Dr. Bennett out the door. The silence they leave is deafening. I stare at the papers, my heart hammering. Then I grab my phone, my hands shaking so badly I nearly drop it. Ben, I say when he answers, my voice cracking. They've done it. They've got a fake report. A court order. They're taking everything. Slow down, Ruth, he says, his voice calm but urgent. Tell me exactly what happened. As I recount it all, the doctor, the diagnosis, the guardianship, his silence grows heavy. When I finish, he speaks, his tone hard. This is fraud. Forged medical records, perjury in court. Caleb's gone too far. I'm on my way. Don't sign anything. I hang up, sinking back in my chair. The sea outside roars, its waves crashing against the shore. I've never felt so small, so betrayed. My own daughter, turning my life into a lie. But as I clutch the phone, words echo in my mind. Fraud. There's a fight left in me yet, and I'm not giving up without one. The cottage feels like a stranger's house after Abigail and Caleb leave. The papers they pushed on me sit on the coffee table, their words dementia, guardianship, deed transfer burning in my mind. I pace the living room, my hands shaking, the sea outside roaring like it's angry for me. Benjamin's on his way, but the wait is agony. My own daughter, my Abby, part of this ... betrayal. It's not just the cottage they're stealing. It's my life, my freedom, my right to choose. I clutched the phone, willing it to ring, willing Benjamin to have answers. He arrives in under an hour, his silver pickup crunching down the gravel drive. At 76, Benjamin moves with purpose, his gray hair catching the sunlight, his lawyer's eyes sharp despite the years. I open the door before he knocks, and he pulls me into a hug, his arms steady where mine tremble. Ruth, he says, his voice low, grounding, we're going to fix this. I promise. We sit at the kitchen table, the guardianship order, and fake medical reports spread out like evidence in a crime novel. Benjamin reads every word, his jaw tightening. This is a setup, he says finally, his voice hard. Forged documents, perjury. Caleb's playing a dangerous game, and this Dr. Bennett, she's no stranger to it. I called an old friend at the Maine Department of Health. She's been flagged before for questionable reports. My heart pounds, hope flickering alongside fear. Can we stop them? They're coming back tomorrow. They want me to sign the deed. Benjamin's eyes meet mine, steady and fierce. We'll stop them. I've got a plan. My contact's already pushing for an investigation, and I've asked a friend, a lawyer in Augusta, to file an emergency motion to suspend the guardianship. But we need proof, your sound of mind. I've arranged for a doctor to visit tomorrow morning, an independent one. She'll test you, clear your name. I nod, clinging to his words. What about Caleb? He's so, sure of himself, like he's already won. Benjamin's smile is grim. Men like Caleb always think they've won, until they haven't. Trust me, Ruth, we'll turn this around. The next morning dawns bright, the sea glittering like it's mocking the storm inside me. I'm up early, making coffee, trying to steady my nerves. At 8, a car pulls up, not Abigail's, but a sleek sedan. A woman steps out, mid-50s, with kind eyes and a medical bag. Mrs. Harper, I'm Dr. Ellen Ward, from Bar Harbor Hospital. I'm here to do a cognitive assessment. She's warm, professional, nothing like Dr. Bennett's cold clipboard. Routine. We sit in the living room, and she runs me through tests, memory questions. Simple math. Naming the day's date, June 19, 2025, a Thursday. I answer flawlessly, even when she asks me to recall a list of words 10 minutes later. My mind's sharp, and I know it, but seeing her nod, scribbling notes, feels like a lifeline. Mrs. Harper, she says, closing her notebook, you're as sharp as anyone half your age. I'll have a report ready by noon. No signs of cognitive impairment. Relief floods me, but it's short-lived. As Dr. Ward leaves, another car pulls up. Abigail and Caleb. My stomach twists. I text Benjamin he's on his way with his lawyer friend and someone from the state. I just need to hold them off. The doorbell rings, and I open it. My face, a mask of calm. Mom, Abigail says, her voice softer than yesterday, almost hesitant. Caleb's beside her, briefcase in hand, his smile as slick as ever, ready to sign those papers. I gesture them inside, my heart racing. Let's talk first, I say, stalling. Coffee? No thanks. Caleb says, too quick. He sets his briefcase on the table, pulling out the deed. We've got a notary coming this afternoon. Best to get this done now. I sit, hands folded, buying time. Why the rush? Caleb, this is my home. I need to understand what's happening. Abigail shifts, her eyes darting to Caleb. He leans forward, his tone patronizing. Ruth, we've been over this. The guardianship's in place. You're not well. Signing now avoids complications. Complications, I repeat, my voice steady despite the fury building inside. By what? Locking me in a psych ward. Before Caleb can answer, the doorbell rings again. I stand, my knees trembling but my resolve firm. That'll be my guests. Caleb's smile falters as I open the door. Benjamin steps in, followed by a woman in a sharp suit, his lawyer friend, Susan Coland, a man in a badge, Agent David Reese, FBI. My heart leaps. Benjamin's plan is in motion. Mrs. Harper, Agent Reese says, his voice calm but authoritative. We're here to discuss allegations of fraud involving Dr. Laura Bennett. She was detained this morning. She's confessed to accepting $7,000 from Mr. Caleb Turner for a false dementia report. Caleb's face pales, his briefcase slipping to the floor. Abigail gasps, her hand flying to her mouth. What? She whispers, turning to Caleb. What's he talking about? I stare at her, searching for truth in her shock. Is she part of this? Or just caught in Caleb's web? Agent Reese continues, unfazed. We have bank records, Mrs. Turner. A wire transfer from your husband's account to Dr. Bennett's, dated 2 weeks ago. She's named you as the one who approached her. Caleb stammers, his charm crumbling. That's not true. She's lying. I didn't stop it. Caleb, Abigail's voice cuts through, sharp and raw. She stands, tears welling in her eyes. You told me this was legal. You said Mom needed care, that the report was just a formality. She turns to me, her face crumpling. Mom, I swear, I didn't know. He said it was for your own good, that Ocean Breeze was the best place for you. The room goes quiet, the weight of her words sinking in. The twist hits me hard. Not Abigail, but Caleb. He's the puppet master, using her resentment to pull the strings. I want to believe her, but the pain of her betrayal still burns. Abby, I say, my voice trembling, you went along with it. You let him call me crazy. She sobs, shaking her head. I thought I was helping. I was angry, yes, about all those years you were gone, working, leaving me alone. But I didn't want this, not like this. Caleb lunges forward, his voice desperate. She's lying. She knew everything. We needed the money. Ruth, my firm's collapsing. Your cottage, it's worth enough to save us. Agent Reese steps forward, his badge glinting. Mr. Turner, you're under arrest for fraud, forgery, and attempted misappropriation of property. You have the right to remain silent. As he cuffs Caleb, Abigail collapses onto the sofa, sobbing. I stand frozen, my heart torn between fury and pity. Benjamin puts a hand on my shoulder, his touch steadying me. Ruth, he says softly, what do you want to do? I look at Abigail, my daughter, broken and pleading. I want my home, I say, my voice firm, and I want answers. I turn to her, my eyes hard. Abby, if you're telling the truth, you'll help them. Tell everything you know about Caleb, about this scheme, and you'll go to therapy. You've carried this anger too long. She nods, tears streaming. I will, Mom, I'm so sorry. Caleb's led away, his protests fading as the door closes. Susan, the lawyer, assures me the guardianship order will be overturned with Dr. Ward's report. Agent Reese promises to follow up on Abigail's testimony. As they leave, the cottage feels mine again, but the air is heavy with what's been broken. I sink into my armchair, Benjamin beside me. Did I do the right thing? I ask, my voice small. Helping her, after everything. He takes my hand, his grip warm. You're giving her a chance to make it right. That's more than most would do. The sea outside whispers, steady and eternal. I've won back my home, but my heart's still heavy. Abigail's betrayal wasn't hers alone, but it hurts all the same. I want to believe she can change. I want to believe we can heal. But for now, I just sit, holding Benjamin's hand, letting the waves carry my thoughts away. The days after Caleb's arrest blurred together, like waves washing over the shore. The cottage is mine again, the guardianship order lifted within a week, thanks to Dr. Ward's report and Susan's legal work. The deed papers, those cruel sheets that nearly stole my home, are gone, declared void, but the victory feels hollow. Abigail's tear-streaked face lingers in my mind, her voice pleading, I didn't know, Mom. I want to believe her. I want to believe we can mend what's broken, but trust, like an old book's spine, doesn't heal easy once it's cracked. Benjamin stays close, his presence a quiet strength. We sit by the fireplace most evenings, sipping tea, talking through it all. He's patient, letting me unravel the tangle of anger and love I feel for my daughter. You gave her a chance, Ruth, he says one night, his hand over mine. That's more than enough for now. I nod, but my heart's heavy. Abigail's not just my daughter, she's the girl I sang to sleep, the teenager I fought with, the woman I've never quite reached. Losing her would hurt worse than losing this cottage ever could. The legal fallout unfolds slowly. Caleb pleads guilty to fraud and forgery, avoiding prison but getting 3 years probation, a hefty fine, and a ban from real estate work. Abigail cooperates fully, her testimony helping the FBI unravel Dr. Bennett's schemes. They find she's faked reports for others, a web of greed stretching across Maine. It's a small comfort, knowing this won't happen to someone else's mother. But it doesn't erase the pain. I set conditions for Abigail, and she agrees without hesitation. First, the cottage stays, no talk of selling, no whispers of Ocean Breeze. Second, she starts therapy. Her anger, that old wound from childhood, needs healing before we can rebuild. Third, she gets a job. Caleb's schemes left them in debt, and I won't watch her drown in his mistakes. Benjamin offers her part-time work at the local library, shelving books and helping with community events. It's not glamorous, but it's honest. And Abigail takes it, showing up early, her hands steady as she stacks novels, her face softening with purpose. A month later, I invite Abigail for dinner. Just us, no Caleb. I cook her favorite clam chowder, Samuel's recipe, rich and warm. The cottage glows with candlelight, the sea, a soft murmur outside. Abigail arrives, hesitant, clutching a bouquet of daisies. For you, she says, her voice small. I take them, my throat tight, and we sit at the table. The silence heavy but not hostile. Mom, she starts, stirring her soup. I'm going to therapy. Twice a week. It's hard. But I'm seeing things clearer. How I blamed you for everything. Dad's absences, your job. I was wrong. Her eyes meet mine, raw and open. I'm so sorry. I want to cry, to pull her close like when she was little. But I hold back, needing her to understand. Abby, you hurt me. You let Caleb twist your pain into a weapon. I love you, but I need time, and I need you to keep working on yourself. She nods, tears spilling. I will, I promise. That dinner's a start, fragile but real. We talk about Emma, about books, about small things that feel like stepping stones. When she leaves, I hug her, brief but fierce, and watch her drive away. The seas whisper, carrying a flicker of hope. The next week, I decide it's time for another truth. I invite Abigail back, this time with Benjamin. She knows him as an old friend, someone who helped with the legal mess. But he's more, so much more. We sit in the living room, the fire crackling, and I take Benjamin's hand, his warmth steadying me. Abby, I say, my voice calm but firm, there's something you need to know. Benjamin and we've been together for 25 years. Her eyes widen, her spoon clattering against her bowl. Together, like in love. She looks from me to Benjamin, her face a mix of shock and confusion. But Dad, all those years, I nod, the weight of the secret lifting. Your father was a good man, but he was gone so much, lost in his work, his sea. I was lonely, Abby. Benjamin saw me, really saw me. At a time I felt invisible. We kept it quiet, out of respect for your father, for you. But now, I'm done hiding. Benjamin squeezes my hand, his voice gentle. We're moving in together, Abigail. Here, in the cottage. It's what Ruth wants, and it's what I want too. Abigail's silent, her face unreadable. I brace for anger, for accusations. But then she exhales, her shoulders softening. I don't know what to say. It's a lot. But if you're happy, Mom, She trails off, her eyes glistening. You deserve that, after everything. It's not forgiveness, not yet, but it's a step. We finish dinner, the conversation lighter, and when she leaves, she hugs us both. For the first time in years, I feel like my daughter sees me not as the mother she resented, but as a woman with a life of her own. Now, as I sit on the porch, a book in my lap, the sea stretching before me, I feel a peace I haven't known in years. Benjamin's inside, making tea, his laughter drifting out when he burns his finger on the kettle. The cottage is alive again, filled with love, with truth. Abigail's trying, showing up at the library, talking to her therapist, rebuilding what we lost. It won't be easy, but nothing worth having ever is. Looking back, I see the lesson this storm taught me. Healing doesn't mean forgetting the hurt. It means choosing to let go, not for them, but for you. It means setting boundaries, speaking your truth, and living for today, not the shadows of yesterday or the fears of tomorrow. At 74, I've learned to hold tight to what matters: my home, my love, my heart, and let the rest wash away with the tide. The sea keeps rolling, steady and sure, and so do I.